In the world of Christian ministry, few leaders have left as deep an imprint as Pastor Robert Morris, the founding senior pastor of Gateway Church in Southlake, Texas. Known for his heartfelt preaching, down-to-earth teaching style, and unshakable commitment to spreading the gospel, Pastor Morris has guided millions through television, books, conferences, and most importantly, his local church family. But recently, news broke that left many stunned. Pastor Robert Morris announced his emotional goodbye, a farewell that has shaken his congregation and left his fans around the world in disbelief. For years, Morris has been the face of Gateway Church, which he started in 2000 with just a small group of families. From those humble beginnings, the church grew into one of the largest in the nation, reaching tens of thousands each week across multiple campuses and an online ministry spanning the globe. His messages on generosity, forgiveness, and grace struck chords with believers and seekers alike, making him a trusted voice in a noisy religious landscape. So when Pastor Morris stood before his congregation, voice heavy with emotion, and shared that he would be stepping away from his role, many could hardly process what they were hearing. Tears filled the sanctuary as he explained that after decades of ministry, he believed God was leading him into a new season, one that required him to release the pulpit he had held for so long. This moment wasn't just a church announcement. It felt like the end of an era. For countless people who tuned into his sermons each week, who had been touched by his books like The Blessed Life and Beyond Blessed, this news felt personal. The man who had spoken faith and wisdom into their lives was suddenly saying goodbye. Members described the atmosphere in the church as electric with sorrow. Some sat in stunned silence. Others openly wept. And many whispered questions. What's next for Gateway Church? Will Pastor Morris completely disappear from ministry? In his address, Morris assured everyone that his goodbye wasn't a retreat from faith but a step of obedience. He acknowledged that ministry had taken a toll on his health over the years. He has undergone multiple surgeries, including a life-threatening one in 2019, and he emphasized the importance of listening to God's direction, even when it meant stepping into the unknown. The honesty in his words struck home. For decades, Morris had taught others to trust God fully, and now he was modeling that same surrender in the most visible and vulnerable way possible. The ripple effects of Pastor Robert Morris's emotional farewell continue to spread far beyond Texas. Online, social media lit up with an outpouring of reactions. Fans and followers expressed shock, sadness, and deep gratitude. One longtime listener wrote, "Pastor Robert was my anchor during the darkest time of my life. His sermons carried me through. I can't imagine Sundays without him." Another remarked, "This feels like losing a family member." His words always felt personal, as if he was speaking directly to me. Even other pastors and Christian leaders weighed in, praising Morris for his decades of service and his humility in stepping down. Many noted that his decision to prioritize health, family, and spiritual obedience is itself a powerful lesson for the church. But amid the grief, there's also reflection. Robert Morris's legacy is immense. Under his leadership, Gateway Church became a model of growth, generosity, and global outreach. His teaching on tithing and stewardship changed the way many Christians understood money and faith. His sermons consistently drew from personal experiences, often with raw vulnerability, which gave his messages a relatable and human touch. What comes next? Pastor Morris hinted that he is not abandoning ministry altogether. He plans to focus more on mentoring younger pastors, writing, and speaking at select events rather than carrying the daily weight of shepherding a megachurch. In many ways, his goodbye may not be a complete end but a transition, a handing of the torch to the next generation of leaders at Gateway Church. For the church family left behind, the adjustment will not be easy. Gateway's leadership team now faces the delicate task of honoring Pastor Morris's legacy while guiding the church into a new chapter. Members will need to navigate the emotions of loss while embracing the opportunities of fresh leadership. Yet if there's one message Pastor Morris left with his goodbye, it was hope. Hope that God's work is bigger than any one person. Hope that seasons of change are not endings but beginnings. And hope that his own story, though marked by trials, has shown that faithfulness brings fruit beyond imagination. As fans across the world reflect on his emotional goodbye, many are realizing just how much his ministry has shaped them. Whether through a single sermon, a conference encounter, or years of faithful teaching, Pastor Robert Morris has left a mark that won't soon fade. In the end, the shock of his farewell is matched only by gratitude. Gratitude for a life poured out in service, for words that pointed countless people toward God, and for the courage to step away when called. Pastor Morris's goodbye reminds us all of a simple truth he has often preached, that the Christian life is not about clinging to positions or titles, but about walking faithfully with God, step by step, wherever He leads.